Joyful adventure audits, come join the ride. Joyful adventure.
Welcome back to Joyful Adventure Audits. Today we're exploring another lost pub from Birmingham's past, the Pint Pot on Emily Street in the Highgate area. The Pint Pot was a pub that was part of the well-known Mitchells Butlers brewery chain. Located right on Emily Street, it would have been a popular local watering hole for residents of this working-class neighborhood. Like many of the city's pubs, the Pint Pot had its roots dating back to the area's industrial and manufacturing heyday when thirsty workers looked for a pint after their shifts ended. However, as times changed, the fortunes of the Pint Pot began to dwindle. By the late 2000s, the writing was on the wall. The pub closed its doors for the final time in late 2009. For a few years after that, the Pint Pot sat vacant and abandoned on Emily Street as it was put up for sale. An increasingly common sight as the pub industry in the UK contracted. Eventually in around 2014, the building was converted into flats, its public house days permanently behind it. A transformation we've seen happen to so many of Birmingham's historic pubs. The story of the Pint Pot highlights the major changes the city's pub scene has undergone in recent decades. Owing to a mix of factors like the smoking ban, rising costs, the 2008 recession, and evolving entertainment habits, we've seen pub after pub shut down across Birmingham. While some are repurposed, many are demolished entirely, leaving holes in the fabric of local communities where these public houses once stood as vital social hubs. So while the Pint Pot itself may be lost to history, its tale represents the bigger narrative around the decline of the traditional English pub culture that had endured for centuries. Do you have any memories of drinking at the Pint Pot back in the day? Share them in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to Joyful Adventure Audits to follow along as we continue documenting Birmingham's endangered, repurposed, and lost pubs.
Street we gathered round. Laughter filled the air in that small town. The Pint Pot was our weekly retreat. Now it's flats where we used to meet. Colored lights and a smoky haze. Pints and stories filled our days. Bar stools worn from friends who'd stay. In the Pint Pot we found our way. But now the doors have closed forever. Industry changed the endeavor. Memories linger like a song. In the Pint Pot we found our way. Corner juke with our favorite tunes. Summer nights and harvest moons. Every pint a tale to tell. where friends and dreams would often dwell. We'd gather close when times got tough, raise our glasses when life was rough. Now it's silence where we once cheered, in those walls we held so dear. But now the doors have closed forever, industry changed the endeavor. Memories linger like a song, in our hearts the pint pot lives on. Corner juke with our favorite tunes, summer nights and harvest moons. Every pint a tale to tell, where friends and dreams would often dwell. We gather close when times got tough, raise our glasses when life was rough. Now it's silence where we once cheered, in those walls we held so dear. In those walls we held so dear. On Emily Street we gathered round, laughter filled the air in that small town. The Pint Pot was our weekly retreat, now it's flats where we used to meet. Colored lights and a smoky haze, pints and stories filled our days. Bar stools worn for friends who'd stay, in the Pint Pot we found our way. But now the doors have closed forever, industry changed the endeavor. Memories linger like a song, in our hearts the Pint Pot lives on. Joyful adventure audits, come join the ride. Joyful adventure audits,